back again. Another wonderful episode of No Party Preference. My name's Josh. I'm here today with Adam.
Greetings, salutations, shalom, assalamu alaikum.
Hitting all the fucking major ones. Today we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of social media, and it's going to be great. I don't know how long it's going to go for, but we're going to just talk about it until it's
Pertinent to
done.
politics?
Yeah, probably. Pertinent to, well, yeah, it'll be pertinent to politics for sure. Anyways, before we do that though, if you want to listen to our other podcasts with all the other topics, the hundreds of episodes that we have available for you to listen to, the hundreds of hours of content that already exists, it's free, by the way. You can go to GameRageMagazine.com and see all the podcasts that we have. You can also go to follow us on the Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. We're on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also, if you're lazy and you just want to go to YouTube, we're also got everything there too, which is Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and also go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast, which is the music podcast, which is conveniently located in all the places I just talked about, or your podcast listening device of choice, or app, I guess.
Streaming service, whatever.
Streaming service of choice. All right. Anyways, yeah. So the hypocrisy of social media. What brought this on was the whole fucking Elon Musk Twitter thing, and I kind of did. I was skeptical about Elon Musk buying Twitter, just because of the simple fact that I do not believe that there are any benevolent billionaires out there. I don't think it's a thing. I don't think it's possible. And him especially coming out saying, "I am going to restore freedom of speech." As soon as he said that, I'm like, "No, you're not. No, you're fucking not.
I'm going to limit.
Yeah, I'm going to restore free speech for the people who agree with me and my beliefs." That's what I heard when he said that. And yeah, how long ago did he buy that? Like maybe, I don't know, like
last year?
Sometime last year. So maybe like 8, 9, 10 months, maybe. Who knows how fucking long ago it was. But I will say it's taken now this amount of time for us to now finally see that actually come into play. Because, of course, he restored, Donald Trump and listen, Alex Jones, he restored. And listen, I agree. I don't think social media platforms should be deleting people because they disagree with the things that they're saying. Go ahead.
I would contend that as a company, they have terms of service.
Correct. They do.
And that is their domain, this platform. If you don't follow the rules, then that's the end of it.
Sure. In that sense, yes. And this is where, yeah, companies are not like the government. I don't know why people thought that a company would respect your freedom more than the government is. The government's constitutionally mandated to respect, quote unquote, your freedom, right? Like, they have to. Well, if they don't, there's consequences. But companies, it's not the same. They don't have to treat you, they don't have to uphold your rights. They can kind of do whatever they want. And I just think it's extremely hypocritical to come out and say, oh, Twitter will now be a bastion of free speech now that I have, run it. And we're doing this whole, we're not allowing wokeness or whatever the fuck you want to call it, which is fine. That's cool. But the specific example that brought this up was, and again, I'm not advocating for either side in this. I just think it's hypocrisy. There was this account on Twitter called White Dudes for Trump, White Dudes for Harris, and they raised like $4 million for her campaign in like a day, and immediately their account got fucking banned after that, and it's just account suspended on Twitter.
Also the White House photographer that took the image of Donald Trump, or was it Washington Post?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah,
Why did I say the White House? Washington Post, I think, took a photo of Donald Trump's ear and then immediately the account was pulled from Twitter.
Yeah, essentially showing no damage done to his ear. So yeah, and it was immediately pulled from Twitter. So again, Elon, you are taking responsibility for making sure that this quote unquote freedom of speech is respected, but it's very clear that it's only being respected when it's in agreement with your position. And if there's something that undermines your position or something that you don't want to go forward, very clear about making sure it gets cut off. And yeah, people can say, oh, Elon's not the one behind the thing making the decisions. Sure, there's an argument to be said for that for any CEO of a company, but in this specific case, he's been very vocal about being the one making those decisions and saying, oh, the buck stops with me, which is great. I think that's how you should lead a company. But you can't then go on and say, oh, no, I didn't make those decisions. Yeah, you did. Then just don't lie to us. Be honest. I know that you're not going to do anything that's going to hurt your bottom line. And what's best for Elon's business is clearly for Trump to win and become president, right? That's best for business for Elon. And I think that everybody can support who they want to support, but to say that you want to be this bastion of free speech and then not allow someone to take your platform and use it for
any opinion
that's not in agreement with yours is complete and utter bullshit. And Twitter's not the only one that does this. I mean, Facebook does it, Instagram does it, TikTok does it. Hell, TikTok might be the worst at doing it because, listen, anything that's anti-Chinese government that's on TikTok gets immediately fucking pulled. One of the we had that happen to us. One of the clips that we used for like a CUP back in the beginning, I was saying something about the Chinese government and the audio was silenced, and they said that it was a copyright violation. And I was like, what the fuck am I'm the copyright owner. How can I copyright strike my own stuff? So I had sent them like an email to like their tech support, and they basically told me that all decisions are final and there's no way that you can undo this. And you have no rights basically to see. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Anything said about the Chinese government? Now listen, I think that's complete bullshit. They'll allow fucking half-naked bitches dancing on there, but I can't be critical of the Chinese government, who I have no obligation to whatsoever. Okay, I see the game here. I've been in several arguments with Instagram about Millennial Frog and how we are the copyright holder, and they want to tell me that I'm waiting for the cease and desist letter to come from like one of them telling me to no longer use Millennial Frog music because it belongs to Millennial Frog. And then I'm like, cool, I'll let you sue me, and then we can show up in court, and then I'll just be like, yeah, I own the fucking rights to this. So essentially you're suing me on behalf of myself. I don't fucking understand that. But that's basically what'll happen if they choose to. And I can't believe there's not some asshole sitting there going like, hey, wait a minute, who actually owns the rights to this? Because someone's got to be checking into that, but apparently not. So who the fuck cares, I guess. But either way, it's one thing to censor something for like copyright or whatever. I get that, right? I get it. But to just straight disallow something because it's not in alignment with your opinions, sure, if it's against the company, I agree. Like you said, terms and services or whatever, the terms and conditions, when you sign up to use these things, yeah, of course, you're giving them free reign to do whatever the fuck they want. They can view all your messages. They can fucking do anything that they want regarding your account. And the sole allowance of you being on there is simply at their leisure. It's at their pleasure. And if they decide to terminate your account for any fucking reason, absolutely they can. I am not blinded enough to think that we're not going to be exempted from that. As a matter of fact, I think once we get to a certain point, we are likely going to be targeted for that because we're not amongst the standard or the status quo, I guess, as you could say. And once we get to a certain point, I'm sure that we will be deplatformed for things that we say or what have you. But hopefully by that time we will have had a pretty decent audience. So they'll just follow us to our own thing that we will have that won't be on any of this other bullshit, I guess. But it's just very strange that people on both sides of the political aisle like to use the phrase, oh, we're going to respect everyone's constitutional rights or do all this stuff, and then immediately violate them for anyone who's not on their team. And that's kind of what it boils down to. It's like a team. It's like teams. It's like, I don't want to say Republican versus Democrat because that's like too fucking simple, I guess. But it's whatever. I don't know. I guess I'll just say left versus right. Okay, as a extreme oversimplification. It's these two teams, and the majority of the U.S. population is like kind of closer to the middle than they are to either side, right? And yeah, you've got people that are on the left extreme, and you got people that are on the right extreme, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And it just sucks that this shit's happening, that censorship is real. And a corporation, I'm under no illusion that a corporation is going to try to respect my fucking freedom of speech in any fashion. And I kind of think anybody that thinks that their freedom of speech is going to be respected on social media is probably an NPC.
I thought this was going to go a different direction.
What'd you think it was going to go?
I thought you were going to talk about people that were of celebrity status influencing the election.
Oh, that's also, well, again, that's another topic that we can go down. I didn't really think about that, but that's true. Social media usage by celebrities, like Taylor Swift is that prime example of, oh man, if she tweets that she's in favor of some policy.
Or she doesn't have to say it directly. She could show up at Kamala Harris's, like
event or whatever.
Whatever's going on as far as that goes. Or any other artist supporting that. That's taking, I think this is something we talk about in the music one, but since, I mean,
we're here.
It's appropriate anyways,
yeah.
But to just have these people that are of elite status or celebrity status to have somewhere between a couple 100,000 people or even millions suggesting or
influencing,
maybe people inferring what they're trying to sell as far as where their political alignment is. I don't think I like it.
I don't like it either, and I think I think it all boils down to and this is the, I guess the oligarchy fucking of corporations running the shit. Where obviously Taylor Swift has a master, so whoever her master is telling her that she needs to go fucking support, of course that's where she's gonna go because that's who controls her money, right? I'm not saying maybe her specifically, but I'm sure a lot of these high level celebrities answer to somebody.
Or it could be the other thing of a celebrity sees what's more popular, and it's not necessarily that they believe it.
They want to get on the train.
But it's the right thing to do for their own political career.
Yeah, or their movie career or whatever, or their music career. It's the right thing to do is to support. Listen, Kid Rock is a great example of that. Kid Rock was kind of like washed up in fucking nothingness. Now he's been fucking very vocal. Even the first go around in 2020 or 2016 when Trump was, Kid Rock was very on board the Trump train. Got some popularity. Now that he's back on and performed at the fucking Republican National Convention, oh yeah, he's like fucking huge amongst all the Republican right-wing people. Does he really actually believe? I don't know. I mean, he's from Detroit. Like,
Michigan is, I think, historically voted blue.
Right. So is he really in favor of this stuff? I don't know. I mean, he's been very anti-government in the past based on his music. So now all of a sudden we expect him to be a fucking bootlicker, right-wing fucking guy. That's fucking ridiculous. I don't think that's good, but he believes at least that this is good for his career because obviously he's doing this. If he just wanted to, that's the other thing. You can tell the intention. Why would you go up and perform in this bullshit? Hulk Hogan showing up at fucking Trump's thing, complete and utter fucking sellout.
Right, writing his last remnants of his legacy, basically.
Yeah, because he's veered into obscurity, and now he needs something to boost him back up in the public eye, and this was it. Because now he got all these fucking Trump voters that are going to start buying Hulk Hogan shit.
And look, I mean, dude, I want to be honest. Like, I don't think there's any illusion that the company itself, WWE, which is pretty much what you would consider mainstream wrestling, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would be under any illusion that that company is not of conservative, anything other than conservative leanings, I suppose. Like the company itself and the people within it. Because, I mean, Vince McMahon, come on. Triple H.
Yeah.
You can't imagine them being any other way.
Vince McMahon and Donald Trump did a lot of business together. Not even just like in the last 10 or 15 years. I'm talking about like WrestleManias in the 80s was at like Caesar's Palace or whatever when Trump owned it, like, or was a part owner of it. It was in New Jersey at the Trump fucking towers. Like he had several pay-per-views there back in the day. So Trump and Vince have always been close individuals. Maybe not, I don't know if they're friends, but they've been at least business-wise fairly close. Trump's done business on screen with fucking WWE at WrestleMania and the hair versus hair match with Vince, all that stuff. So, hell, Linda McMahon was one of his cabinet members during his administration, obviously paying back that fucking rub that helped him get elected in the first place. So, yeah, the WWE, I think you're right, is probably a very right-leaning organization in terms of, the
audience and also the people, the organization itself.
Yeah, definitely. And it's interesting to see if they're going to use that at all come November for one side or the other. It'd be interesting to see because they've done it in the past before. Now, I feel like in the past they had Obama on. I think it was when Obama and Romney were going against each other. I think they had Obama, or maybe it was Obama and McCain. I don't know. They had both of them on, and like that's where you get that. Do you smell what Barack is cooking? Like that line that he says because he did it as a promo, and I think John McCain did a fucking promo as well. And they've been involved in the past. I guess they gave both sides an option. Also, veering into social media, but also it's kind of regular media as well. I mean, we've got these debates that are supposed to happen, like on regular media, I guess, like ABC or whatever. I mean, Trump's pulled out of one of them,
the ABC one,
and said that he's not going to do it. Kamala Harris says she's going to show up. Trump's challenging her to do one on Fox News.
She won't do it, though.
She won't do it because you're both going into enemy territory, right? So, like, there really needs to be, like, a neutral... Fuck, C-SPAN's pretty fucking neutral, I feel like. Why don't we do it on C-SPAN? Or
have it hosted on Reuters or some shit.
Yeah, have it... Well, I don't know about... I don't know what side Reuters is on, but...
I think they're as neutral
as you can get. Fuck, maybe you should have the BBC do it because they have no dog in the fight. They're the British people. Fucking let them fucking do it. I don't know.
But they're also state owned, so
I guess that's true. But I don't know what the solution is. Obviously, Twitter's probably not the solution because that's clearly picking on one side as opposed to the other. So, and I'm kind of skeptical if we're gonna get an actual debate between these two, which. I don't know if this is, I don't know. I mean, this definitely I don't think has happened in our lifetime. For sure, this has not happened where the two actual candidates have not debated against each other. Because that's fucking kind of ridiculous. Like, shouldn't we at least get one? At least get one before we go into fucking voting? Now, all we're left with is all the shit we see on social media that's clearly influenced by one agenda or another. That's all we're left with, essentially, to help the common normie choose who they want to vote for. But likely the common normie has already been so influenced by the one side or the other that their feed's leaning towards that they've already made their decision anyways. But I think for those that are in the middle, we shouldn't have to rely on fucking social media and celebrity endorsements to help us choose who the fuck. Because at the end of the day, who the fuck cares what celebrity endorses one or the other? Listen, Kid Rock, you're a multimillionaire. Your values don't align with mine in any way, likely.
The average American.
None whatsoever. So why would I give a shit why would any normal person give a shit what Taylor Swift has to say about who she's going to vote for, right?
I don't.
and that's what I'm saying. We don't, but like that's what's scary is the power that they wield. And then it does make you wonder, like, if these people wield such power on social media to have their audience go vote in a way that reflects what they want, is that just millionaires basically controlling what happens anyways? Isn't that just rich people controlling the election regardless? So then, at this point, it almost seems like what the fuck's the point of even doing any of this shit? Just let the millionaires vote. That's what they're doing, basically. It's like, man, this is going to be a fucked up analogy, but okay, like during slavery, they had if every slave you owned, you got extra 2/3 of a vote, right?
3/5
or 3/5 of a vote or whatever.
3/5 compromise. For
every slave that you owned. Basically, every celebrity gets an extra 3/5 of a vote. They get one whole vote because they're getting their slaves, their audience, to fucking go and vote their will and how they want, right? That's kind of a similar analogy in the sense of the Swifties are slaves to Taylor Swift. They do what she says on command. Well, the hardcore ones. And there's several 100,000, maybe even millions of them that will do what she says. They'll get off their lazy ass. They'll go vote because Taylor Swift said that we need to vote for A, B, or C, or whatever. And that's what's also funny is like their voices aren't being silenced on social media, regardless of what side they're on.
Because there's money to be made.
Because either way, but yet average Joe citizen does something and, no, we got to shut that down. Oh, but if fucking Taylor Swift goes on and wants to support Kamala Harris on Twitter, they're not going to delete her account. They're not going to fucking tell her to fuck off or delete that tweet. They'll let it stand. So it's like two different systems of enforcement, and again, furthering the hypocrisy of social media. So, I mean, shit. Unless you're Kyle Gass, I mean, I guess, he said some shit about Trump and then gets banned from Australia. But that was funny.
Yeah, I mean, somewhat it was.
Well, it's funny that he got banned from Australia for saying the joke itself wasn't that good, but I mean it was low hanging fruit. It wasn't that funny, but
and it was also kind of crass. But
the situation itself was funny.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Well, he made his bed. He can lie in it.
Yeah, true.
As far as the subject of celebrities and shit, man. Well, shit. The debates themselves, I guess I'll stick to that one. Shit, if there was any, but this is gonna also be biased for people that are millennials or Gen Z and above, or millennials and above. YouTube would basically be the most neutral site for hosting a debate, because it's not any of the networks, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you host a debate on YouTube itself, and maybe have one moderator from each. Well, you try to have as many moderators that are not politically aligned or as neutral as you can get as far as journalists or news reporters goes. But if neither of them are going to meet on a specific network, then fucking just put it on YouTube. But then you also eliminate anybody that doesn't know how to use the internet and also doesn't know how to use smart devices, because there are still people that could barely do that. So
that's true, but those people are generally old boomers, and they probably need to be left out anyways, because their fucking opinions.
They're the most likely to vote too.
Yeah, they are, which is why they need to go. They just need to die, all right? Because they're the ones fucking us right now on this whole situation. Because they're the assholes that go out and vote. Because none of us go out and vote. I mean, fuck, it just is what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to add as far as the other topics, but it is rather funny to see that there are something of privileges that exist for people that have money or social status versus us normies that could say something, but at the flip of a switch, our account could be banned or we could be removed from the site itself altogether.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody else of notable status could say something and not have so many consequences. Actually, no, that narrative is kind of changing as well. Because you remember that whole thing with what was it, the block party?
Oh yeah.
So,
but look where it went. It died. It went nowhere. Because people are fucking lazy.
True, I guess.
And fickle. You know what? I actually do want to follow this person. Nah, I'm not gonna block them.
Yeah, I guess so. So, I mean, and also for the platforms themselves, it pays to have these people that exist that write inflammatory things, or maybe they don't write inflammatory things, but rather just the presence of somebody on the platform is obviously beneficial to them because they can generate money. So
that's true.
It's just kind of a two-tier system, I guess, for us normies and the lot of everybody else.
Yeah, that is true. And that sucks, but I guess it is what it is.
So maybe freedom of speech is just limited to just
those who can pay for it.
Right, those could pay.
The Constitution applies if you can afford it. That's basically, I guess, the fucking lesson we've learned here today. That's fucking sad. That's real fucking depressing, man.
Well, I mean, we're kind of defying the odds by just making this shit on Game Rage, I suppose.
That's true. Anyways, all right, you got anything else to add?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
All right, sounds good to me. Shit, man, we got 25 minutes out of that. That's not bad.
Pog
champ. Anyways, if you liked hearing that, you'll definitely like all our other podcasts that talk about less divisive or heavy subjects, or maybe even more divisive and heavier subjects. So you can go to Game Rage Magazine.
We run the gamut here.
Yeah, that's true. We do run the gamut of emotion here. You can go to GameRageMagazine.com where you can hear all those if you so choose. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok, or Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. YouTube has everything, and if you're the laziest of them all, YouTube is the easiest access. We're Game Rage Magazine on there. You can just search us in the search bar. We'll pop up. You can see every episode we've ever fucking done on there as well. All right, well, that'll do it for us. Oh, you can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and you should do yourself a favor and go check out the All Gas No Trash podcast and stop being a shitbag. Anyways, that'll do it for us. Catch you on the next one.
All right.